today we are going to review solving inequalities with addition and subtraction. Then we're going to go into solving inequalities with multiplying and dividing. Okay, so here's the first question. I want you to answer this question. Okay, now it says what number would you add or subtract to solve? Okay, so right here we have x minus 3 is greater than 7. So to undo that, I would do the opposite of subtract 3. So that would be add 3. So that would be A. Here's question number 2. Go ahead and answer it. Okay, this one again says which number would you add or subtract to solve? First of all, I don't like that my variable is on the right, but even though it is, I would get rid of this plus 4. So that means I would subtract 4, which is B. Says what is the solution to? Okay, so on this one you're going to have to actually work it out. So we're going to go right here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to rewrite it so my variables on the opposite side. When I do that, the inequality changes directions because I'm flipping everything. Now at this point then I would subtract 6 from both sides. And I would get m is greater than negative 2. And so that would be B. Says what is the solution to? Okay, again on this one we have 14 is less than x minus 4. I'm going to rewrite it. So x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 14. To solve, I'm going to get rid of the subtract 4. So I'm going to add 4. And I get x is greater than or equal to 18. So at this point, D would be my answer. Says which graph is the solution to? So at this point, you need to solve this. So I'm going to try and write it up here so you can see it. I would subtract 5 from both sides and get x is greater than 4. Now, greater than is an open circle, so I know my choices are C and D. I want to circle 4, and I want all numbers greater than, which would be this one, okay? And so D would be my answer. Okay, now we're going into solving multiplication and division inequalities. Now, this is the same as solving them when it was an equation. So when we have an inequality, 3x is less than 12, you're going to find your variable. What is going on with my variable? So that's 3 times x. So I need to undo that. So I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. And x, keep the inequality, is 4. And again, you would draw your number line. So at this point, I would have my number line. 4 is going to be my choice. I'm going to go 5 and 6. I'm going to go 2 below, so it's 3 and 2. I'm going to circle my 4. It is only less than, so it is open. And x represents all numbers less than, so I'm going to shade and close in the arrow. Okay. To solve this one, you have x divided by 2 is less than negative 3. So here is my variable, so we're dividing by 2. So that means we're going to have to multiply both sides by 2. And so x is less than negative 6. Draw your number line. So here's your negative 6. 2 above is negative 5, negative 4. 2 below is negative 7, negative 8. You're going to circle your negative 6. It is open. And I'm going to shade all numbers less than. Now, same rule of thumb as yesterday. If your variable is first, this arrow is going to point in the way that you would shade. Now, when we get to inequalities, we have one special rule. Okay? If you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the inequality sign when you divide or multiply by a negative number. So let's look right here. So that negative number has to be a coefficient to your variable. Okay? Now, if we look over here, this negative 3 was not. It was a constant by itself. Okay? Here, this is a coefficient. So I'm going to have to flip my sign when I do this. Now, so you're going to find your variable. Here I have negative 3 times x, so that means you're going to be dividing by negative 3. Right here, because you're dividing by negative 3, you're going to flip this inequality when you rewrite it. Now, negative 3 and negative 3 cancel off, so you're left with x is greater, because that has to flip. And here, positive 9 divided by negative 3 would be a negative 3. And then you would draw your inequality. Again, 2 above, 2 below. Circle and shade. This time the numbers are representing greater than negative 3, so that would be shading to the right. Okay, let's look at another example there. Let's say we have x over negative 2 is less than 4. So here's my variable. I'm dividing by negative 2, so here's part of your coefficient. So I need to multiply by negative 2. So at this point, that's my special rule. I'm going to flip this inequality. These cancel off, so x is greater than negative 8. So that would be my answer. Then I would graph my line. I'm going to circle negative 8. And then I would shade to the right because those are the numbers that are greater than negative 8. Okay.